Okay, so bear with me because this did not work last time. I was practicing going streaming in two different places, and although the video worked on Facebook, there was no sound. So, oh, okay, right. So it says it's live. Let me just see if I can hear it. Going streaming in two
Oh.
different places, and although all right, so the sound is working there. Now, how do I see if it's showing up in YouTube live? Will it show it there? I don't know. Right, I'll have to check the YouTube thing later because there's so much on YouTube that I could be here for a while. And I've got a load of anyway, right. So at least it's working on Facebook this time. I'm gonna have to get to the bottom of what happened with the sound. All right, so while we're here, I thought I might quickly just, as I said, testing out the two streams. I will check the YouTube later. And if anyone's about and you'd like a quick 60-second tarot reading, let me know. Right, where's my timer? Alrighty, so where are we now? It's the 10th of August, and I know this will self-destruct in about 28 days. So 10th of August at the moment. I'm going to be heading into a new week with the 11th. So I might just do a quick warm-up. Let's see. And the way I do it is I call them like cold readings. So that's what I can see when I'm looking at the cards. They all look exactly the same, but of course they're all completely different on the other side. So I pick them just looking at the back of the card, and then we will go from there. And it's a bit like Shrek, the way I'm going to describe it. Although they're exactly the same, it's almost like, you know, when Donkey's going, pick me, pick me. There is a card that kind of stands out to you and things that make you go, ooh. So just give them a shuffle. Right. So let's see, look at the week ahead. Let's look at the week ahead. And I'm going to go with that one there. So what we got, 10 of Raphael. So let me show you that one a bit more closely. 10 of Raphael. So this one is, it says love and blessings fill your life, exclamation mark, harmonious relationships with family members, happily ever after. There's also, so Raphael can be about love and relationships. There's also oftentimes the health aspect. And the bit that stands out to me today is the caduceus, which is that health sign, and the end of the rainbow. So I'm going to say this one, it might be a good time to just think about your physical health and well-being. That could be what you're actually physically doing in terms of exercise. For example, it could be what you're ingesting. Maybe you've been thinking it would be a really good idea to do 1, 2, 3, ABC, XYZ, and you haven't gotten around to doing it. So this will be a really good time to put it in the schedule. That might mean going for a walk in the park, breathing in some fresh air, getting the muscles moving. But I'm going to say this is a good one for that. And actually taking a bit of time out just to stop and smell the roses, as they say. So 10 of Raphael. Da, da, da. Okay, oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, if you're gonna, yes, I can. Sorry, I just saw a little pop-up message. Yes, this is one of those platforms where if you put a comment into the platform, it should actually then show up in my platform. I know with some of them you can comment and you don't see it until afterwards, but you can put a comment in. I will see it, but I'm not necessarily, I just happen to be glancing at my thing. I'm not looking on Facebook at the moment. I'm in a different platform. It just happens to be streaming to Facebook. And I think the same should also happen with YouTube, that if you put a comment in YouTube while it's live, it should show up in my comment stream. So that is the way that it should work, which is one of the things I'm also testing out. Hold on. And I'm just gonna, right, so it says it's live. Let me just see if I can hear going streaming. Oh, hold on, let me turn the volume off. Oops. Yeah. So yeah, it should work in the way that you, let's see, test. I'm just going to test it myself. No, it hasn't shown up as yet. That is very weird. See, and that's what I'm saying. I'm sort of just testing out the functionality. Oh, yes. Yeah, it has. So there's a little bit of a time delay, but it does show up. Let me just see if I can figure out how I can find it on YouTube, because I want to make sure that is working as well. What would I be looking at? No, don't want to switch account. what I want to do. What do I want to do? Home. Hmm. um, just gonna check and see that. Oh, da, da, da. I can see my history. I can see my playlist. Ah, there we go. That's where I want to be looking. Yeah, so I personally, oops, don't want to do that. I personally can't actually see it there. So I don't know. It might not be streaming to all of them. But yeah, if you put a comment in, if you did want a reading, you can put a comment into the chat if you happen to be watching on YouTube, which I don't think you would be. But if you're watching on Facebook, you can put a yes into the chat, for example. There is a slight time delay. It seems to be about 10-15 seconds. And then your request will show up here and I'll do you a quick sort of tarot reading. But I'm just having a look to see. Oh, there's a tab that says live. Yeah, I actually can't see it on YouTube, so I'm going to have to do a bit of further investigation. I can definitely see it on Facebook, cannot see it on YouTube. So yeah, but if you can actually see it on YouTube and you would like a tarot reading before I go, I'm just doing a quick test, then feel free, put a yes into the comments and I'll do that. I'll give it a couple of minutes. So, but yeah, there's got to be a way because it looks as though I should be able to stream to multiple platforms. But I'm just testing out two of them at the moment. Alrighty, so cool. But for the person who sent me that on Messenger, um, let me see. I'll very quickly pull a card for you. All right, so testing, 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, so and no, you don't need to. The way I tend to do them is people, if I'm going to do a reading for someone, they just say yes, and then I just do the reading. And some of you who have followed me for a while will know that then people will come back a couple of days later, they'll watch because I do them in Facebook Live. So they'll watch the recording, and the feedback I always get is pretty much always the same, which is we can hear you sounding fantastic. Oh, fantastic radio. Thank you so much. Always wonderful to hear from you. If you don't follow Fantastic Radio, then I highly recommend it. They have been diligently and consistently putting out good information, also sharing other people's information for many, many years. I'm going to say about 10 years now, but please tell me, how long have you been around and on the airwaves? Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while for sure. So keep up the good work and thank you so much for your support. Very much appreciated. Um, so yeah, the feedback is always pretty much the same. In actually, let me show you. This is from somebody in the group. So often I'm talking to myself when I do the readings. People will come, and this is from someone in the group who said, "Hi Marilyn, I've listened to recording and OMG, as in oh my god, what can I say? You're 1,000,000% spot on with my reading. I'm blown away with it all." And that is very, very common. And I have to be honest, oftentimes I don't really remember what I've said. But what I did do at one point is I went back and I watched some of the videos and then I matched it up to the comments in terms of what I said and then what was going on in people's lives. And it was like a mirror image and it was so uncanny. I can't even begin to tell you. All right, so let me grab a card for the messenger person. Right, here we go. 60 seconds is probably a bit quick. Let's give it 90. All right, so you just kind of think about whatever you're going to think about in terms of maybe what you'd like some insight into. And quite frankly, you don't even have to bother with that because the cards will just tell you what the cards want to tell you. That's the way it tends to show up. So let's go. I'm going to give them a bit of a shuffle and then I'm going to go with that one there. All righty. So show you that one first of all. Knight of Gabriel. So Knight of Gabriel always feels like there's a bit of activism going on. So this one says confident, enthusiastic, courageous, and charismatic. Time to take action, exclamation mark. Great passion for a cause, instinctively know what to do. So if there's something you've been, oh, that's really, I haven't used that word for years, but the word that came to mind, if you've been shilly-shallying, as in dithering about, putting something off, maybe even a touch of procrastination, a bit of reluctance, I think these are where these characteristics are going to come in. So the confidence, the courageousness, and all of that sort of stuff. Now, with regards to horses, I don't know if you've ever spent any time around horses. I was saying to a client the other day that one of the most profound things I've done is a horse whispering course. If you are not the things I've just said on the card, the horse is going nowhere. So you could be trying to drag that thing, coerce it, hypnotize it, don't care what you're going to try and do. The horse will not budge until you are congruent and in alignment. And then when the horse gets the sense that you are a leader and it trusts you to lead, it will go anywhere. And all you need to do is go, come on, and it will just follow you. It will just follow you. And the horse will also do things that it is fearful of doing because it trusts that you will be there to lead. So whatever this is, the suggestion, because it's all a suggestion, you can take it or leave it. The suggestion here is that you get into these characteristics so you find your sense of confidence, you reignite your sense of passion and enthusiasm for whatever it is. You remind yourself even while you're doing it. The courageousness comes in terms of how you show up, what's going to be going on inside of you, because that's going to radiate outside of you. And then with that charisma, if there are other people involved in this, or this is something that you're going to be putting forward, let's say you've got a cause that you're going to be speaking up on behalf of, you want that charisma, but you really, really want to be in that place and that space of, I'm going to say kind of, it almost feels like, I like the term divine guidance, but it's almost like whoosh, it's just clear, it's straight as an arrow, it's going to cut through all the things. But this requires you to show up, because when you show up in that energy, other people around you absolutely feel it and they respond to it. So yeah, if those I'm not going to say if those characteristics reside inside of you somewhere, if they're hiding, if they've been a bit dormant, you might want to go and unearth them, reignite them, get back into them. But it's that whole thing, if we talked about it in terms of NLP, for example, that will be where your anchoring would come in, where you anchor yourself into that state and then you show up and you bring that energy with you in terms of whatever the action is, and then it's all kind of all charge ahead. Right, if anyone else is here before I go and you'd like a reading, just put a yes in the comments and I will do that. And then if not, I'm going to go and see if I can hunt down what happened to the YouTube live and have a little bite to eat. And gosh, today was a blast from the past. I've just been out to see Greece. We had the big screen in Watford, which is an outdoor cinema, which is always fantastic. The weather has been perfect this time. There have been a couple of years, oh my God. There was one year that it was torrential downpour, and I mean the heavens opened. But this year it's been pure good weather, and I didn't even need a throw or a cardi or anything tonight, because it started off at 25 degrees, it stayed a consistent 22, and it was amazing. So yeah, just watch Grease with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. That was a blast from the past. I actually found myself wondering, what would I tell myself if I I wouldn't even imagine when I was in the school playground going, you're the one that I want, and doing that all dance and all that. I would never even imagine I'd be watching it in my 50s. I'm just wondering, what would I have told myself back then? Right, if anyone else, for those of you who are just coming in, if any of you would like a reading, a quick reading, then put a yes in the comments. That will show up. It's a little bit of a delay, but that will show up in my comments, and I'll do a quick reading. But we've got a couple more minutes before I'm going to go and get a bite to eat. Da, da, da. The weather has been great today, Sophia. It absolutely has. It has been absolutely amazing, and there's more to come. Tomorrow, I'm in Watford. It's going to be similar in London if that's your neck of the woods. It's going to be, I think, 29 degrees here tomorrow, 30 to 31 degrees on Wednesday, and 28 degrees. Sorry, Monday 28. Tuesday 30, Wednesday 28 degrees or thereabouts. And you'd like a reading? Okay, let me just give them a little bit of a shuffle. I'm going to reset that. Alrighty, so Sophia. I'm going to go with, hold on, I'm going to grab it. That one there. Alrighty, what we got? Okay. So we got, matches my ring. So we've got the High Priestess here. And this is part of what you call the major arcana. So this will be the bigger life changes. This is number 2. So you've got 0, 1, 2. So this is like the third in that, after taking that first step. It's Archangel Haniel. And it says powerful psychic insights, reflection and meditation that provides valuable information, be at peace. So if there's been something going on and it's been something that's impacted and affected the emotions, it could have been a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, not a full on like desert storm kind of thing, but there could have been some ups and downs, some bumpy things, a few disappointments. Sometimes people sort of let you down. You thought, oh man, you thought they had your back, they didn't, or something has happened. You're like, oh my God, what's going on here? Where you think you've covered all the bases and then there's a bit of a curveball. So it feels like there have been a few of those sort of up and down kind of events. Which has then maybe potentially been disturbing your equilibrium and your sense of peace and calm and balance and being grounded on a level footing, etc. So this one is saying spend a little bit of time getting yourself back into alignment, whatever a form of reflection and meditation is for you. Some people like just straight out meditation. For others, they like journaling, morning pages, whatever. But whatever it is that brings you into a sense of peace and calm and alignment, this is the invitation here to put yourself back into those places and spaces. If there's something you've been going around in circles with, maybe kind of drilling yourself down into a little bit of a hole, trying to figure it out, being in this place and space, putting it out there that you would like some ideas, thoughts, suggestions, solutions, putting it out there, getting yourself into alignment, and then listening. Because in those quiet places and spaces, that's where you're going to get the ideas, that's where you'll get the insights, what I call in photo reading terms, those aha moments, those light bulb moments. Or it could be that you're then going about your business, doing whatever it is you're doing, and somebody just says something. Or I know many times, because I often do this in the mornings when I get up, in the days where I used to commute a lot, I'd be in London, I'd be on the underground, and I just happen to glance as I'm going up the escalator and I see a poster that like has the words that are answering what I'm saying about, or there's a link to something. I was like, oh my God. Or, and I swear to you, honestly, this has absolutely happened. I'm legging it up the escalators because I'm normally flying up on the left. And just as I'm going past people, they're talking and they say the exact thing that I've been thinking about or looking for or pondering or wanting the answer to. I'm seriously, that's how crazy cool it can be. So I always say to people, notice what you notice once you do put it out there. But this is an invitation really to bring yourself back to yourself. It may be that there are things you used to do in terms of the peace, the calm, the grounding, etc., and you haven't done them for a while because life gets in the way, you get busy, all that sort of stuff. So it might be a chance for you and an invitation for you to go back and say, okay, what is it that I used to do that really works for me? And sometimes you just need a little bit of a break from things, but it could be you go back and you reacquaint yourself with that. But your level of internal peace is super important now, because that is going to have that ripple effect out into everything. So balancing the emotions, doing an Elsa, let it go. If there's been some stuff going on that's been just kind of disturbing your peace and equilibrium, and listening out for those fabulous insights. So that's what I'd say about that one. I'll hold it up again just so you can have a final little look-see of that away. There you go. Your other home in Spain. How lovely. Yes, wonderful. Right. Okay. Well, there are no further comments in the chat for a request for a reading. So I will leave it there. Oh, hang on. That's true. I've been journaling less. Look, so if journaling is something that, because I've heard people go, oh, journaling, morning pages, what a waste of time, because it's just not for them. That's great. But however, if journaling is something that when you do it, it brings you into a particular place of peace, calm, clarity, it's a good way to go into the next segment of your day, and you find it's useful and you go, oh yeah, I haven't done that for a while. Maybe give it a go. You don't have to go full on all out. Yeah, I'm going to do it 7 days a week. I'm just going to do it once or twice a week and just do that. And just notice what you notice. And sometimes people, you're most welcome. And sometimes people say, oh my God, they're all or nothing. So I always say, look, just start with a tiny little segment. Personally, when I'm setting things like this, I'm going to go for what I'm going to say, maybe start with, I'm going to do it 1 day in the coming week. If you really want to push the boat out, so I'm going to do it 2 days. leave it there. Because if you got to Thursday or Friday and you still haven't done it yet, if you'd set yourself doing it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week, you have failed by the time you get to Thursday or Friday. If it just happened the week was very busy. If you said you're going to do it one day that week, you've still got time to catch up and do it. So that's why I'm going to say just start small. Maybe just I'm just going to do 5 minutes, even 2 minutes. Doesn't seem like very long, but it's absolutely amazing when you're in that kind of the zone and you're focused and you know for the next 5 minutes this is what I am doing. It is amazing what you can pull out of the bag. Fabulous. So right, okie co. Okay. Car Blanco, you've put a smiley face. Would you like a reading? Before I go, so it says Car Blanco. That's an interesting name, I must say. Sounds a little bit like it might be related to Sophia's other home in Spain. But if you would like a reading before I go, just put a yes, Y-E-S, or we, or C, in the chat. And if not, I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to go. It's, what is it now? It's just on 10 p.m. here in the UK. So, yes, okay. Alrighty. All right, so let's see. Hold on. Give them a bit of a shuffle. Okie coke. So, and if you weren't here earlier, the way that I choose them, I'm looking at them like that because they all look exactly the same. So I have them facing away from me. And I just see which one stands out, even though they all look exactly the same. Right, so let's see. Oh, thank you. Right, I'm going to go with that one there. We're back in the major arcana again. So this is those big life journeys. We're kind of pushing towards, the middle of it. So let me show you that one first of all. This is the Justice card. So this is number 8 in the major arcana journey, which has about 22 steps. Some of the tarot cards might be done differently, but you're sort of kind of in that middle section. This is Archangel Raguel. So it says on the card, fight for justice and equality. Rulings made in your favor, don't give up. So if there has been something going on and it feels to you as though it's been unjust, unfair, you've been put upon or maybe taken advantage of, or there's a saying here in the UK, you've drawn the short straw on something, you just don't feel it's right. Now, it actually doesn't have to pertain to you. It could be something else, someone else, where you're looking and you're saying, no, this isn't right. But it's something that affects you. You feel it in some way, shape or form, and it's been out of balance. This one is saying continue on. Don't just kind of, oh, very funny. Sorry. When I'm doing readings, I sometimes hear songs in my head that relate to what I'm saying. If it feels like, yeah. So the song was Bob Marley, "Get Up, Stand Up," but it's the strapline of that song is stand up for your rights and don't give up the fight. So this one is saying keep going. In terms of if we were to put it in, simplistic terms, right and wrong, this one is more saying that the thing that you are going for, the injustice that you're seeing, you're correcting that in terms of things are out of balance. And for whatever reason, you've been charged with helping to redress the balance. So this one is all about it continuing. If it's been going on for a while, it could feel like I'm not a marathon runner, never run a marathon, no plans to, famous last words, no plans to run one. Probably next year now you're going to see me in the London Marathon. Not. But I know when people are marathon runners or runners per se, there's a thing that happens where they hit the wall and it's like their legs go from underneath them, the energy's gone, they kind of like maybe having that Steve Redgrave moment. I'm not sure what age you are, but Steve Redgrave was a rower in the UK in the Olympics, and there was the infamous race where they got gold. And of course, the BBC put a microphone right under your nose, and all the TV stations, they immediately want to comment from you. And he's completely exhausted. And he just says, I'm never getting in a boat again. 4 years later, he was back in the boat, Having done all the training for that 4 years, he was back to do another Olympics. But in that moment, he'd like almost like hit that wall and was like, oh no, never again. So it could be that if you've hit the wall on it, whatever this might be, that this is a time, just maybe this summer, you just take time out to breathe, to refocus, to regroup, to reassess everything, because part of this is going to be where and how you use your energy. Where do you put your energy? Where do you put your focus? You don't want it to be scattered and all over the place. So it's almost as though you're going to rally again and kind of go, okay, with all the things going on, which of these need my focus and my attention? Where can I take my foot off the gas? Where can I take a step back? Even where could I delegate to someone else? Because it's almost like you're on that home straight now, which is ironically when people tend to give up, because it just feels like this is pointless, this is a waste of time. Now, with all of that said, when I say rally and reevaluate, you're going to rally and reevaluate and say, is this thing, whatever this is, the project, the cause, the injustice, whatever it might be, is it worth it to me? Because you'll be a different person now to the person you were when you started. So that rally and that reassessment is all about that. And then if you come to the decision that actually I feel that this is worth pursuing, then you go for it and you keep putting one foot in front of the other, because it's almost like the finish line is almost there. You just can't see it, hear it, feel it yet, but you're getting closer, and it feels as though the deck is stacked in your favor. So that will be that. I'll show you that card again just so you can have a final look see at it. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, 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 alrighty. Fabuloso. Let me have a look there. Yep, I think we're all good. Let me check and make sure. I think it's actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm seeing all of the comments. Um, I'm just going to have a little look see. Ooh, right. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it shows you a little thumbnail as well, and it says there's a thing that says live. That's good. Mm-mm-mm-hmm. Alrighty. Yeah, so you are most welcome. You are most welcome. Do you do private readings? How do you? Let me show you this. This is from all right. So, yes, I do. If you did want a private reading, you can go to my main website. Thank you for the question. It's transformationstm.com/tarot readings. And it's a weird spelling. It's not weird. I'm a hypnotherapist as well. So, TRANCE, F for Freddie, FORMATIONS, TM is in trademark. So, transformationstm.com/tarot readings. And there's everything from 30-minute readings, 60 minutes, and 90 minutes, so an hour and a half. Now, with the hour and a half, we get into more stuff, and we do some of the energy clearing, the huna, etc. But that's where you could do private readings. I do the readings online. I have been doing online coaching, online training, and online therapy since 2005. So, oh my God, that's 20 years at this point for those watching in real time. So well before the pandemic pivot and all of that sort of stuff. And so the readings are done online. But yes, if you'd like one, then please feel free to visit the website. You'll also find some testimonials on there with people's photographs and names, so you can see who they actually are, because they very kindly did that. But yes, I do those one-to-one readings. Right. Okie kook. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. It's been absolute pleasure to come and help me test this out. And I will, if it doesn't work on YouTube, which I really would like it to, because it will be a fun thing to do, so you can kind of get people from all of those, then that would be absolutely amazing. And for the person who pinged me, yes, so the transformation trio, that's something that I'm doing this summer, and that is it's a combo. It's a one-to-one breakthrough session, my 1-day breakthrough session. Again, that's done online, plus the online on-demand 3-day photo reading workshop, plus the 1-day fearless public speaking workshop. The reason I put those three together is those are the three that absolutely changed my life in October 2000. So in September 2000, I contemplated suicide. In October 2000, I got into personal development, and the rest, as they say, is history. And so, as my 25-year anniversary is coming up, the three things that were pivotal in that is doing the breakthrough session to let go of the negative emotions, limiting beliefs, anger, sadness, fear, anxiety, not good enough, not worthy enough, etc. The photo reading, because I had been diagnosed with what was thought to be early onset Alzheimer's in my 20s. So the photo reading blew that out of the water. And then I was very quiet and shy and lacking in confidence, low self-esteem. So once I sorted out the limiting beliefs, the other thing that was a game changer was the public speaking. So that's why I've put all of those three together. So there's a personal element with the breakthrough session, which is the one day, and then the on-demand element as well. And there, depending on when people are booking, there are some bonus sessions included with that. But yeah, so that's going on the ticker tape down there. And then the done with you and done for you is for people who've been dreaming about and meaning to do their own workshops and webinars. I'm doing a done with you or a done for you service. I'll do a couple of those, August, September, maybe into October time. And yeah, we can, oh, actually, let me show you this. This is one I made earlier as we're on the subject. Where did I put that? So someone I've worked with recently, they've been in their field for 20 years, had been meaning to do a workshop, wanting to do trainings online, just never gotten around to it. And within 6 weeks, we'd run their first webinar. They made sales from that webinar. And within three and a half months, they've run 3 paid workshops, and I basically did all of the heavy lifting for them. So all they needed to do was show up, do their thing, and I handled. Or I set up the webinar funnel. I ran all the technology, so they didn't have to. I was doing all of that in the background. I did all of the promo images for them. I did an interview with them, did some promo videos for them, little clips and sound bites, and basically did everything. They just needed to show up and share their expertise. So if you've been thinking about running a workshop, running a webinar, you haven't done it, and you really don't want to do all of the technical stuff and getting it all set up, I help them also structure the ideas, get the thoughts out of their head onto paper. I even did their PowerPoint slides for them just so we could get everything out the door. And then they just ran the workshop, and it was absolute. Well, all of the workshops have been incredible. The feedback has been amazing, and they've had that information for 20 years, and we kind of made it happen in a few weeks. So if that is something you've been thinking about, then by all means, I've wrote a blog about it this week, so it's coming along the bottom of the ticker tape, and take a look at that. It is as it sounds. It's one-to-one. So it's time intensive, labor intensive. So I'm literally only going to do 1 or 2 of those because there's no time to do any more than that, because I'm basically doing everything. So yeah, or there is a done with you where I don't do everything. But there are key, I've outlined it on what you can see there, the transformationstm.com.exposure.co/webinars-done-for you. So check all of that out. But yes, thank you everyone for coming to play. Really enjoyed that. Oh, you are most welcome. You are most welcome. I'm glad you found it useful. Yeah. Well, here is to a fantabulous week ahead. For those of you in the UK, enjoy the weather. Make the most of it, because we know how little sunshine we get here. But yeah, enjoy. Thank you also for joining me and testing out the stream. I will catch you all later. Marilyn Devonish, the Neuro Success Coach, Rapid Transformation Specialist and Futurist from transformationstm.com. Over and out. I will catch you all later.